never built a foreign car, and now look at the wonders in Montgomery and Lincoln and Vance. There was a time, ladies and gentlemen, when we had not built the UAB system, when our universities were what they were, and now look at what we have today. So, and I will tell you another thing about Davis administration, ladies and gentlemen. A Davis administration will not believe that ethics is too high a standard for public officials. I have been in public life for 7 years, and I've seen too many people who don't think we can go where we need to go as a state because they don't trust politics. They don't trust government. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care whatever your philosophy, whatever your party, whatever you think of government, we have to be able to believe that our politicians prepare to a high standard. We have to believe in trust. And if we can restore trust in government, ladies and gentlemen, there's no limit to where we can go in this next decade. And consistent with that theme, the first thing I will do as governor will obviously be to build a budget that makes the right choices and doesn't make hard choices on the backs of our weakest people. Obviously, the first thing I will do will be to try to mend this economy that is wounding so many. But the next thing I will do is to bring the Alabama legislature back into session and to invite them to pass the strongest ethics legislation we've ever had, ladies and gentlemen. And a Davis administration will understand, ladies and gentlemen, that while the various groups who mattered in Alabama politics, the various organizations have every right to be at the table, they don't have a right to control all the seats at the table. And a Davis administration will recognize that, of course, you have to be pro-business to be a successful governor of Alabama. But the day has ended when we define pro-business as meaning anti-union. The day has ended when we define pro-business as meaning that we'll sell Alabama based on how little we ask of our companies and how little we protect our people. That day has ended. Because being a pro-business governor in the next decade will mean being a pro-education, pro-growth governor who knows how to build a workforce for the jobs that can come into this state. Now, I want to end on two propositions, ladies and gentlemen. As I said at the outset, I am so honored that so many of you have come out today and are picking up the mantle of reform and change in this campaign. But I want to tell you, I'm not just going to need you for the next year and a half. I'm going to need you after we win this election. I'm going to need you to help me govern Alabama. Because where so many of our past governors have failed is a very simple place. They have spent their energies on trying to figure out a political strategy to get to 50%. They've spent their energies figuring out how to win, and when the election is over, they don't have the people mobilized for change. And you know why that is. You know how people run for governor of Alabama. They typically run on the notion that they will say as little as possible about as much as possible. They run on the theory that I'm going to throw out some broad generalities and then I'll see you in Montgomery after I get there. And they don't build a case for change. They don't build a case for reform. Ladies and gentlemen, I will build that case. But to move the Alabama legislature, to break down the barriers of resistance in Alabama, I will need you to join me in a constant campaign to talk about reform, to talk about progress. I will be all over this state as governor. I'll be in every corner of this state because the next governor has to be the persuader-in-chief as well. And the next governor has to say in the Alabama legislature, I will lay out a standard, but you have to come join me. I will lay out a place where we can go, but I need you to understand that we can get there. And I want to close, ladies and gentlemen, with the grandmother that I mentioned again at the outset, because I do believe she's looking down at us now. My grandmother was 70 before she cast her first vote. She experienced deprivations in her life. that these children will never know. In one of the last years of her life, she and my mother and I spent a week living in a hotel in Montgomery because our house had been foreclosed. My grandmother, ladies and gentlemen, is looking down right now, and she is thinking how blessed her grandson has become to come to this stage to tell you that I will be the next governor of Alabama with your help. And my grandmother, who lived in a time when you couldn't build a space like this in Alabama. You couldn't organize a political event and have the different shapes and colors in one place like this. Somehow she's looking down and thinking that the country she believed in so much eventually came true. And she's looking down and thinking, ladies and gentlemen, what a blessed place we are. The fact that I am here, the fact that I can run for governor, the fact that I can be governor, it is a testament, ladies and gentlemen, to the fact that there is no better place on God's earth than the United States of America. And there is no better place to be, no better place to dream, no better place to build your future, no better place to hope than this wonderful state of Alabama. I know that, ladies and gentlemen. So, the road begins today. And ladies and gentlemen, the leadership that I will provide you, it will change this state in the way we have seen this state. So, may God bless all of you today. May He be the wind beneath our wings, and may God take Alabama where it needs to be, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you.